Welcome back. We're at NYukCo with the strategy session on our Alpha Tree project and its progress. And we've been laying down a lot of groundwork, both generally within our own sessions and with our general business sessions on Wednesday afternoons with Brooklyn Geek Week. And FYI, those are going to become more focused on tech, an intro to tech, and an intro to fintech, financial tech, the world of financing and tech, the world of anything and tech, and in terms of business. So that, because we're aiming that to be more generally available to the community as part of our education outreach, which leaves then our consumer education. And we will then have to discuss where we're going to do consumer education, because that is business development education, so that there are people in the neighborhood who want to become investors will learn how to do so. People who want to go into business will learn the terminology and how to do so. People who want to be service providers will meet others. So really and truly, those are networking sessions, strictly business, strictly education, but again in our same down-to-earth, informal sort of manner, community-oriented. Then we have our general incubator. And by the way, our Wednesday Brooklyn Geek Week is part of Stratospheres TV's, stratospheres.com and Brooklyn.tv's regular afternoon networking industry session. So we're partnering with them. Then we have our regular Saturday incubator pop-up sessions. And we start the pop-up aspect in November, middle to the end of November. Full swing by after the Thanksgiving holiday. We will have a special fall holiday. So we need right now, in the next week or two, to get product merchants into space. And that push has led many people to say, oh, I got what I need, etc. And one of the things I want to stress, and I'm actually pulling together, is what is our difference. And we offer a program that takes you from point A to point B, from idea to prototype within 3 weeks. We also help you generally with idea and business conceptualization, so which is a session this afternoon, because many people come in, I have a business idea, but there's really nothing essentially unique about it. They haven't worked out the logistic about it. So this evening we're doing that, and we'll tape a session which will be open, because the open session is a general question and answer. The meat of it is what we do, which will be off camera. That's our really unique thing, and that's what, there's so many aha, but I never thought of that moments, and that's what sets us apart from any other incubator program or product development aspect. And then I usually come in and throw in the tech portion and the tech startup aspect with that, which then brings us back to the contribution of my other colleagues here, which is technical skill, quality control, the business of lifestyle, because Lawrence is proving to be much more than just about technical. We both can do technical, but he's focused on industry. And so he will be taking the lead on some technical skill sets and quality control, which he'll speak about later. We also have been doing social commerce, which is more storytelling. And we may be more focused in terms of that. So we have here the ability to shoot images, to use media, digital, video, etc. But what we're finding is a lack of brand equity. And so we may be bringing in a person specialized in that, as well as what we ourselves know, branding yourself. So that's another added portion this session as opposed to the third. And then one of the biggest problems is that you've got a product, you have an idea, you've conceptualized it, you can say this is a product, service, or merchandise. Here's what I will get for $10, $20, but then what we're finding is that we're limited, I have found, on revenue models, which means because most people aren't focused on funding and financing their numbers and how to calculate it. So Yasmin will be doing a lot more work on general funding and financing, the concept of that from a business strategy point of view. and just general concepts in terms of building your financial position to better yourself, to attract funding, investors, to validate, and the role of the incubator. And finally, I've been pushing everyone to rethink their revenue model, to think from how can I make money from this, not just now, but how can, not just for myself, but to scale and to be a startup. And I want to explain this. As an incubator, you come in with a craft, an idea, a concept, a philosophy, and we help you develop a product, service, or merchandise from that. But each individual could either directly be a service provider, freelancing to someone, that's a business. You can then be a standalone mom and pop business, and you become part of the supply chain of larger platforms. And what we will show you is how to leverage all of the platforms so that you get yourself a decent income that you can manage. Or what I'm hoping to do is to prepare at least 2 or 3% of those who come through here to challenge them to go to onto the more established incubators and accelerators, because some people have some really great ideas for platforms, they just don't think they can do it. And they just don't know how to meet the right people. So there are 2 other components, which will be a business dating session, okay, and pitching, which will happen in January and February. So we want to start attracting technologists, people with financial backgrounds, hustlers, because every great team needs hustlers, people with tech background, just web design, just general business. So apart from the creators, we now have to broaden this incubator project to attract and to certain individuals. And yes, our techniques have been tested. We test each portion of our technique before, and the reason we did it is because I'm not about getting the money, because we're strong enough, we have a business plan to generate that. But I'm about having a plan that works. Very few, I as an individual, will not enter many of these incubators because they provide nothing of value for me, and some may be offended. But if it isn't valuable, if I can't grow from it, if my business ideas, if I'm sitting across the table and I'm telling you more than you can help or even give me access to, then you're of no value. And so for me, that program is essential, and all the components. And the final component, which will be showcasing managing PR and teaching. And strangely enough, we have someone who worked with us who isn't able now, because she got trained and picked up by a university to be an online trainer. And she'll be coming in to do a session or 2 as a thank you on what she's learned on online training. So we're going to go virtual in a couple of weeks. And also, that may not be here. So it's now about pulling all these components together, which is really great. Showcasing, we have images, we have proof that we can do the work. We have great images, great products. Now we need to find people who are serious about taking their business to $100,000, to $250,000, to $1 million, to exiting at a $300 million buyout. And that is more cultural than it is a lack of skill. Our community really doesn't believe it's possible. So one of the things is getting that message out, educating them how it is possible, the strategy. And in our next segment, because that was just a general. In our next segment, we're going to come back to Lawrence, who's going to fill us in on the technical and aspects and his role he'll be playing in the future.